Yes, we are live. It worked.
Yay!
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Howdy.
What are we talking about today?
Well, today we are talking about some controversial comments by the former president, Barack Hussein Obama. But first, back to the three of us.
Wait, hold on. What?
Who do we have with us today? Vince, plug your channel.
Yes, you guys don't have to
Do we
continue
have
to introduce
to-
me.
Yes,
but-
we do.
Yes, hi, how's
Fine.
everyone doing? My name is Vincent Freeman. I host a channel called The Babylon Project. We have guests such as James Lindsay, Armin Navabi, and Susanna up here. They are both on the show, so if you're interested, go ahead and check it out and subscribe, as well as, of course, hit the bell notification and subscribe to Atheist Republic if you haven't already done
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Okay. That was good. All right. Yes, do it. Amazing guests and all.
Vince is one of the smartest people I know, and he's
so. Oh, no,
very
don't
good
give them
channel.
expectations. Don't give them expectations for me during the stream. But thank you, I appreciate it.
No,
No, but if-
you are one of the most collected, cognizant, articulate people who are drunk I've ever seen.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Like
Likewise.
discussing moral philosophy
All right.
very well
All right.
blitzed.
All right. What are we talking about? Wait, who's it? Let me see. We see in the live chat there's people here. Oh, Brittany is here. Soha is here. Soha is always confirming that audio is great. Thank you so much, Soha. Always
Saint
very
Soha.
nice. Saint Soha is here. And we have a whole bunch of other people in. Oh, this is the channel, by the way. Vince's channel,
Yes.
Babylon Project. You can search for it and subscribe. Anyways, Katie's here as well, which is awesome. Why is this controversial? By the way, I said this much earlier, and I lost like many friends on Facebook and Twitter and everywhere else, right? So, and now Obama is saying it. So, I mean, he's saying it when it's a lot safer to say it now, but it's fine. So, what is this? What do you guys think? By the way, I have a lot of reaction tweets to this. Do you guys agree with Obama? Do you disagree with Obama? Let's read the title, by the way. Susanna, do you want to?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Barack Obama criticizes defund the police slogan but faces backlash. And subtitle being, he said, you lost a big audience the minute you say it. And then Ilhan Omar, and among several other progressives, have defended the slogan.
Okay, what's your take?
He is right. The Democratic Party has really bad. They're just terrible at marketing. How are they consistently so bad at marketing like their policies?
There's a huge PR problem with the Democratic establishment and party. And look, I think it's like without a doubt 100% true that things like defund the police, things like ACAB or abolish the police, whatever you wanted to say, is terrible PR. Even if you're right, even if the general idea behind defund the police, where the nuanced position would be that just means, allocate resources towards socioeconomic issues. Even if that's the case, the very fact that most people will just read the headline, defund the police, and you have that immediate knee-jerk reaction against it is a disservice to what you're trying to do. So if you want to be successful, this is bad for you.
So we have, I think, three camps of people, okay? The people that say defund the police originally came out with it, meaning they said, like, you know what, defund the police actually means exactly what it sounds like. In fact, do not just defund the police, abolish the police, right? And then there's the other group of people that pretend that this meant something else from the beginning, that this means reforming the police, demilitarize the police, and the people who are getting triggered are not bothering to research what actually defund the police means. And half of these people think that, yes, it means reform the police. It doesn't actually mean defund the police. And it's bad marketing to call it defund the police. And the other half are like, yeah, defund the police does mean reform the police. But no, it's good to call it defund the police because it moves... if you are very aggressive with it and people are like, you're moving the conversation to like, oh no, don't defund the police, but maybe reform the police. So because you're shooting for the stars, you land on the moon. So it's a good strategy. So the people that think defund the police doesn't mean actually defund the police, half of them think this is bad market, not half. Some of them think this is bad marketing. Some of them think this is good marketing. Susanna, you had your hands up?
Well, Smitty summarizes it very succinctly, saying, do you support lowering police budgets to fund crime prevention or abolishing the police? This actually has to be asked of every single person who says that, meaning defund the police.
So
this is part of the problem.
Yeah, but if it has to be...
So, can I finish? This is part of the problem, is that it has to be clarified every time.
I didn't know you were in... Okay, go on.
Okay, well, let's move on.
All right. No, finish that. What was he saying?
Well, I was just saying, like, this is the problem with that slogan, is that you do have to clarify what anyone who says that means. That's a huge problem.
But some people say that's not a problem. That's a feature. That you could like, oh, no, we can't defund the police. And then you start a conversation. Because if you say, see, I'm doing it. Guys, look at this. I'm steel manning the far left, okay? They say, like, listen, if you said, let's say, for example, okay, let's ignore the fact that some people in this crowd actually want for there to be no police, okay? And let's let the mainstream leftist people who want police, let them pretend that doesn't exist. That does exist, but let's pretend like it's not there, okay? Let's give the best of the wokey people and the best argument. The best argument is like, listen, if you want to reform the police, if you want to demilitarize the police, if you go out and say something that everybody like, yeah, of course, I reform the police. Yeah, I agree with that. Then it's not going to do anything. People are like, yeah, sure, let's do it. And nobody's going to do anything, right? But if you say like, defund the police or abolish the police, people are like, what? No, what are you talking about? We should... No, this is insane. No, we should reform the police. We shouldn't abolish the police. And now you're actually getting these people to actually take a move towards reforming the police and take an active stance in reforming the police or demilitarizing the police.
So you're I'll let you finish.
No, go ahead. See, I'm not like this. I don't get triggered when somebody interrupts me. Go on.
Oh, you don't get triggered when somebody interrupts?
I just didn't. Go on.
No, go ahead and finish.
No, I don't know what I was going to say. Just say, what do you want to say?
Okay, well, so your argument is that defund the police is such a bad idea that it makes the middle seem better and people actually want to take that action.
Yeah, that's what they say. That's not my argument. That's what their argument. They're like, you ask for more than what you want, so at least you get what you want.
Well, that's not the argument of the people that I've been surrounded by historically, but we should get into this later because they're like, that's not their tactic. Their tactic is the specific group that I'm talking about, not the general defund the police movement. People are kidding themselves if they think there are not people who literally mean defund the police, who actually mean, yes, we do mean abolish the police. Yes. So your argument of, oh, this is a tactic because it's such a bad idea that it makes the middle look better is like not shared. Like people actually do want to.
I did say they exist, and that's why I said this. I said mainstream.
I'm just clarifying.
A lot of mainstream leftists that don't have that bad of an idea. They are guilty of pretending like those people don't exist. There's a lot of people that you mentioned that do exist. Okay, so that's why I'm putting them in different categories.
Wait, I'll highlight a comment that you'll like. Brittany, I think you have a new simp. He's saying Armin is a sweetheart.
That picture is too hot for me to be believable. But if that's really you, Brittany, then amazing.
You think it's a gross fat guy behind the computer screen?
Hey, that's okay. Thank you, Brittany.
Armin is a sweetheart, even though we fight. And Smitty is saying Armin talks over women and blames them, but I guess he's okay.
Hey, I would not lend I would not let anybody in this show to womansplain me anything. Okay. So,
I guess Susanna's uterus is making her emotional, huh?
No, your words, not mine.
Hello.
It's not the uterus; it's the hormones.
Yeah.
Just know your biology. Yes, but obviously,
I think
should we get into this article? Yeah, Vince, go ahead.
Very quickly, one of the things that Armin said that was interesting was that one of the arguments that some people are making is that if you shoot for the stars, at the very least you land on the moon and you get closer to what you want than if you were to just have said nothing or if you were to have an accurate slogan. I think that doesn't really work, and this ties into what Jonathan Haidt states, in which if you're trying to rally people for a cause, the most effective method is not to form an enemy. In this case, the enemy, the implication would be that the police is the enemy. Even if that's not what the nuanced interpretation states, that's what the slogan states, and that's what most people interpret it as. Rather, what the most effective method would be, this is the focus on the us rather than the them, to focus on the grievances and the suffering that the party in question is having. When you do that, more people are emotionally predispositioned to agree with you if you say, look at the suffering that we are having, rather than look at what the harm that they are causing. That causes more division than if we were to just focus on us, because that elicits the empathy, like the empathy part of your brain kicks in more so. So from a pragmatic standpoint, right, even if what they're saying is true, shoot for the stars, you land on the moon, that's effective. I would say that's probably effective up until here. But if we were to focus on us versus them, that would be even more effective. So just because one thing is more effective than the other does not mean that maybe there is some truth to the idea that if you ask more than what you actually want, you'll get closer to what you want. I mean, that's just business and politics 101, right? Asking for more than what you want.
Right, but the good thing for us is that it's coming at the expense of them looking ridiculous, right? So even if they're right, okay, even if they're right, and we're going to get more police reform because they're asking for defunding the police, and we're not going to get defunding the police, which would be probably a bad idea, defunding. So we want to demilitarize the police, I think, and we want to increase spending on training and more cameras, and more de-escalation trainings and all that stuff. So I don't know what the balance is going to be. I don't know if you demilitarize the police, you're going to save a lot of money, but then you have to, I think you need to increase spending on more training, more de-escalation tactics, more camera. So I don't know if that's going to be ending up funding the police more or funding the police less. I don't know what the net is going to be. Okay. Mm-hmm. But whatever that's
I was just going to say, let's get into the article, because I feel like we jumped into our analysis without actually presenting like the topic. Okay. I read the title already. Barack Obama chastised Democratic political candidates for using, quote, snappy slogans like defund the police that he argued could turn voters away in an interview released this week. Quote, you lost a big audience the minute you say it, which makes it a lot less likely that you're actually going to get the changes you want done, the former president told show host Peter Hamby in an interview with Good Luck America, which is a Snapchat political show. Quote, the key is deciding, do you want to actually get something done, or do you want to feel good among the people you already agree with, Obama added. However, Obama also defended the place of young progressives as important, quote, new blood in the Democratic Party, singling out Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who has spoken out strongly on the phrase and the essence of defunding police departments to boost social spending. Former Obama campaign operative Ben LaBolt shared part of the president's interview with Hamby online Tuesday before the interview went live on Snapchat on Wednesday. So we could click on that photo and read the whole statement, if you want, but
right.
Wait, why is it all, are you zoomed in?
It's fine. No, it's not. It's like that.
Oh, weird. I've seen a different version of it. It's interesting. We take for granted that if you want people to buy your sneakers, that you're going to have to market it to your audience, right? We take for granted that if a musician drops a record, that they're going to try to reach a certain audiences by speaking to folks where they are. It's no different in terms of ideas, right? So if you believe, as I do, that we should be able to reform the criminal justice system so that it's not biased and treats everyone fairly, I guess you can use a snappy slogan like defund the police, but you lost a big audience the minute you say it, which makes it a lot less likely that you're actually going to get the changes you want done. But if you instead say, hey, you know what, let's reform the police department so that everyone's being treated fairly, and not just in policing, but in sentencing, how can we divert young people from getting into crime? And if there was a homeless guy, we can maybe send a mental health... Wait, can you open it now? And if there was a homeless guy, can we maybe send a mental health worker there instead of an armed unit that could end up resulting in a tragedy? Suddenly a whole bunch of folks who might not otherwise listen to you are listening to you. So the key is deciding, do you want to actually get something done, or do you want to feel good among the people you already agree with?
Okay. I don't understand this part, okay? Obviously... Okay, so this, if a homeless person is having an issue, or if somebody requires mental health assistance, if you want to send mental health experts there, you cannot send them there without armed police officers. Like that
they need backup.
They need backup. That's extremely dangerous. You don't know what's gonna happen. You're like, oh, there's a 911 call, and let's say you reform the police, and you realize that this is a mental health situation rather than an armed conflict situation that requires police, and you say okay, we're sending mental health experts there, into the streets without armed protection, without necessarily knowing if this is going to escalate or not. That is great job. You're putting the lives of your government employees at risk, okay? So the solution is that a lot of people so instead of sending armed police, send mental health expert. No, send their mental health experts, professionals or whatever, with the armed police to make sure they're protected. So this as well, this requires more funding because yes, there are many situations that the police are not trained to handle the mental health situation, because they're not mental health experts, right? So this requires not replacing the armed police with mental health experts. This requires sending the armed police on an additional mental health expert team to go with them. So this is again something that requires a lot more funding of the police, not defunding the police. You know how expensive that's going to be? That's going to be really expensive. But anyways, what do you guys think?
What about the people who are very much in the class warrior type of unit, in which they would say that there is no strong evidence that homeless people are violent enough to the point where you would have a that you would need to have a police officer accompanied alongside the social worker? That's just your own personal stereotypes of what a homeless person is based on what you believe. The fact that they probably do a lot of drugs and they're very violent, but a class justice warrior would say that there is no strong evidence to say that homeless people are violent enough to the point where you would even need a cop there.
Yeah, but you don't know what's gonna happen.
You could say the same thing about a black person, though, right? It's okay, you could point towards the fact that no, that's what they would say. I'm not saying this, but let's say, for instance, someone makes the same argument. Well, maybe you would need to, black people commit more crime. It's okay, but there's no evidence whatsoever, no strong evidence whatsoever to suggest that if you encounter one black person, you're actually at risk of being violent. Same thing with homeless people.
No, but okay, listen.
I'll listen.
If you're sending mental health people into the streets in a volatile, unpredictable situation, okay, it's irresponsible of the government, because you cannot predict, even if it happens 1% of the time, and you're like, oh, with mental health people, it actually happens 0.5% of the time rather than 1% of the time. Yeah, that's huge. Okay, that is way more chances of coming up with a violent situation that you as a mental health expert are not equipped to deal with, more than other jobs. Like, okay, so like if you're, you know what I mean, like this is not, if you are becoming a government employee, you cannot expect your employer to send you in the field without any protection. You know, and here's another thing: mental health patients, it really depends on the context of how, you know, take a mental health patient and put them in a loving environment, and they are not as likely as compared to other people to be in a react violently or do something that might be dangerous. But take the same person and put them in the streets as a homeless person, and even if they're not responsible for directing violence at you, the situation might escalate in a way that you're vulnerable in the streets without any protection, right? It's really hard to predict what's going to happen when you get a call and you like something, and especially when you're getting a call, okay? Because yes, on average, if you deal with a mental health patient, homeless person in the streets, it's very unlikely for you to come in harm's way, right? It might be like, I don't know, 0.1%. But if you're getting a 911 call about it, then even if it hasn't escalated to a position that you might need protection, it's way more likely that it could escalate to a situation.
The 911 call is already likely a sign of distress.
Whoa, your audio was really bad. What just happened? Say something?
Test.
Oh my God, your audio is really bad. I have no idea what you just
How
said.
so?
It's
Robot-y.
like really bad. It's like it's robot-y, like to the 10th degree. Yeah. So I don't know what just happened there. All right. Afshin is saying, yes, I've done work in actual psych wards, and the nurses there are big, burly men, often burly, is that a word? And often walk around in groups of 2 or 4 for safety. Yeah, I mean, come on, like you guys know that this is guys, this is not an insult to mental health patients, okay? If you are, it's more like if you're not in control of your no, I don't know. I'm not an expert, so I'm not going to say. I'm pretty sure there's a reason why they have more security in mental health psych wards or whatever compared to a nursing home or a school, okay? If you're like a nurse trying to see a patient in a psych ward, they give you more security than in a school, okay, or in a children's hospital, or in a just a hospital, okay? A nurse in a hospital doesn't get that more security than a nurse in a psych ward. Do you think there's no reason for that? Like, there's no reason for that? Go on.
So wait, a person in a psych ward I don't think is comparable to a homeless person. Would you say it is? It's comparable enough?
What?
Would you say a person in a psych ward, someone who is clinically insane, is comparable to a homeless person? Someone who just lost their home through the financial circumstance or through other...
I mean, so I'm saying if a nurse inside a nursing home requires security, then a mental health expert inside the streets, in the streets where people with mental health people might be even more under more stress and might react even more aggressively. Of course, they need more security.
Right.
Like even then, like if it's justified for them, then it's definitely more justified for, like, basically, if you don't send these mental health experts to the homeless people without a security, without armed police, you're giving them less security than what they would have gotten in a less hostile environment, which would have been psych ward. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and just for the sake of me getting an understanding of where you draw the line and where you don't draw the line, and by the way, I'm not saying that I believe this. I'm just trying to test out Armin's logic here. If it were to be proven through whatever it may be, if it's proven that homeless people are no more likely to commit violent crimes than, let's say, a high school teenager who probably gets into a fight, whatever, from a average income neighborhood. If it becomes proven that a homeless person is no more dangerous, no more rowdy than the average person that walks in to see a psychiatrist for his anxiety medications, if that's proven, and because teachers don't require any bodyguards, and because psychiatrists don't require any bodyguards, then maybe the social worker actually probably doesn't need a bodyguard either.
I would say that even if it's not a mental health situation, and let's say you're sending a social worker into the streets for a 911 call that is not even a mental health issue. Okay, it's something else. Okay, I think if it's a 911 call and the situation might get like out of hand, just sending the social worker into the streets without some sort of protection, at least one armed police to be with you, I think that's irresponsible. And that's why I think that the slogan might have been, you might actually, whatever solution, whatever reform that is required for the police, I think it requires more funding, not less funding. Susanna.
Testing.
Nope.
Oh, no. Go back to your old headset. Okay. Lewis is saying Armin is right, at least here in PR. Where's PR?
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. I guessed it before you said that. U.S. territory. Yeah, I'm not even American, and I could tell that PR is Puerto Rico. That's impressive.
I guessed it before you guessed it, and then I said it before you said it. So.
Okay, whatever. Many EMT won't go to deal with a violent patient if police is not with them. Wow, look, I'm guessing these things and I don't even know. I don't know. And I'm just guessing these correctly. Thank you so much, Lewis. $5 super chat to say that I'm correct. Isn't this amazing? We got a $5 super chat just to point out that I'm correct. Thank you so much, Lewis.
Wait, that doesn't necessarily mean you're correct. That just means that there's a preconceived notion that that's what should be done. Just because they're doing it doesn't mean they're doing it because they're rational. I am not saying I believe this.
Actually, that's a good point. That's a good point, because even okay, let's say even the data shows that the extra risk is not that much. But imagine the level of if the perception is there. Imagine the level of stress and anxiety you're putting the mental health experts in if you send them into the field without armed police. Susanna.
Testing.
No.
Really bad. Can you get the other? Can you get the other headset? My God, she never we getting this audio things fixed is seems amazing. Okay, let's continue with the article. Okay, I know my voice is really annoying compared to Susanna's voice, but you guys just have to deal with it. Okay. Armin's ego. Yes, of course. Now, guys, I admit never mind, I'm not gonna go. The remarks drew backlash from notable Black progressive Democrats, including Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar of Minnesota. Wait, look, guys, why is it saying Minnesota twice? Isn't it Minnesota Congresswoman already suggests that she's of Minnesota?
Yeah, I mean,
Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar of Minnesota. Okay. Wow. Guardian, hire me. English is not my English is my second language, but Guardian, hire me as your editor.
That's so
better. Me as a non-English speaker just noticed a dumb mistake by your writers. Yeah. Guys, what? Okay, I'm going to say something and Deborah's going to laugh at my ego. Who stressed Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar of Minnesota, who is a congresswoman in Minnesota, who stressed defund the police was not... Okay, here's the tweet. Let's just read the tweet. Ilhan Omar says, we lose people in the hands of police. Oh, we lose people. Ooh, we lose people in the hands of police. It's not a slogan, but a policy demand, and centering the demand for equitable investments and budgets for communities across the country gets us progress and safety. like this is such a
That's such a disingenuous take.
Such a this. Oh yeah, we lose people in the hands of police. Like really, Elon Omar. Like, are you serious? Like, oh, he's like.
Not only that,
Obama
though,
is
Obama
saying,
even specifically said, like, if you want to talk about allocating resources, if you want to talk, like, he literally already addressed that. So everything she's saying, Obama addressed and said we absolutely should have the conversation about it. He's talking about the slogan itself and the fact that it comes across as a slogan, even if it's not a slogan and she's being literal. That's how it comes across as. That's how most people will perceive it as, and because of that, less people will be on your team because of it.
This is such a dumb virtue signaling, no logical response. Look at me, I care about the people and you don't. BS attitude. That is just like such a dumb response. I defended Elon Omar over other things. Okay, so don't tell me like, don't think like I'm going after her because she's a hijabi woman. No, I defended her. I told her I have videos, I have streams saying that Elon Omar is getting too much crap just because she has a hijab on. Okay, so don't think like I'm being biased here. But this is such a dumb response. Okay, imagine if I'm like running a charity, okay, and I'm trying to we're trying to help people, and I'm trying to come up with the messaging on our Facebook post to get more donations, and they're like, hey Susanna, should we let's say like our charity is like something about global warming or something right now. Like, Susanna, should I put this caption or this caption? And she says like, no, put this caption. I'm like, no, if I put this caption, I think we're going to lose some potential donors. And she's like, well, you know what, Armin, you know what? We're losing so many animals that are dying because of the heat raising, and you care about losing people for like what? Like what? Like you think he doesn't care? We lose people in the hands of police. Oh yeah, no, Obama was like, Obama was like, he doesn't care about people dying in the hands of police. Oh yeah, when he said, we lose people because of these slogans, he meant like, he cares only about. That's Obama. What actually he meant was that he cares that these messages resonate with people because he doesn't care that people are dying in the hands of police. He doesn't give a crap. That's what are you even responding to? Oh my God, this is such empty virtue signaling just to act like, yeah, you Obama, you go care about losing people while I care about people actually losing their lives because I'm so much better than you. I'm so much above you that I care about the real things. Guess what, Elon? If you lose people, if your message doesn't resonate with people, then your reforms is not get the funding and the support that it deserves, and then you're gonna lose people that way. Okay, you're gonna lose people in the hands of police if you lose people because of the bad messaging. Okay, so we lose people because of we lose people in the hands of police because you lost people when it comes to bad marketing. Okay, so they are connected, Elon. They are connected. But anyways, you're back, Susanna. But good idea.
How's my
actually.
audio?
You're fine. What did you fix? How did you fix it?
Well, I changed from my headset that I literally just opened brand new 20 minutes before we started this and put in the headset that you normally complain about. So hopefully this is better.
All right.
But that hypothetical conversation reminded me of some of the conversations we have when we write your tweets.
No, but you never yeah. Like acting like you care about people. This is basically you acting like Obama doesn't care about people losing their lives in the hands of police. That's what you're acting like. If you care about the messaging and if you care about losing people because of bad messaging, that you're acting like that means that you don't care about like people losing their lives in the hands of police, which is such an uncharitable take. Such an like, again, as some like when people have uncharitable takes when Elon says something like, oh, you said this, you might hate you must be an anti-Semite. I'm like, guys, that's uncharitable. Let's steelman her. Let's be charitable. Maybe she doesn't mean that. Let's not like say, this is a dog whistle. It's anti-Semitic. I'm trying to be charitable to her positions, but look at her. She's not being charitable to Obama. Okay, this is such a bad take, such a bad response. Oh, is it
look at
buffering?
other responses. No, I just checked. It's not buffering for me.
It's not buffering for you. Okay, Murtad, that's you. Okay, guys, if it's buffer, if live streams buffer for you, all you have to do is just go rewind a little bit and just watch everything with just a little bit of a delay. Okay, with just a little bit of a delay, and that will fix it. Okay, all right. Let's look at this other tweet. Hold on. What is this one?
Wait, scroll up a little bit. I want to see some of the commentary above it. Okay, so we didn't lose. Oh, wait,
that's here.
About this
that's here.
We didn't lose Breonna, meaning Breonna Taylor, because of a slogan. Instead of conceding this narrative, let's shape our own. It's time we listen to the people, organize and build coalitions around our own messages, and cast a vision that inspires us all to lead change at the ballot box and beyond.
This is like no response at all. Like, this is basically like, this is just like, hey guys, look at me, I'm like jerking me off or something. Like, this is what it's like. This is like, look at me, so I'm so great. I'm not like Obama. I care about Breonna. Somebody come suck my dick. I'm so great. This is like, what is this? This is like another response to anything he said. At least, guys, let me teach you guys. Okay, let me see. Hire me. Okay, far lefty people in the politics, hire me. This is what, if I wanted to push back against Obama, this is what I would say. Hey Obama, do you have any citations for us losing people for saying defund the police? Where did you pull this from? Okay, where is your citation? Okay, so you're saying we lost. Okay, but look, so many young black people have ended up voting for the Democratic Party more than before. All the data shows that the Black Lives Matter activism led people to come in higher numbers to vote for the Democratic Party, not less. So where is your citation? Where is your evidence that we lost people from the slogans? But see, I did. Look at this. I say that. You could say that, okay? But what do you have instead? You have this. What is this? We didn't lose Breonna because of a slogan. What is this even responding to? Like, and look at this, all this like self-congratulatory. Oh, look at me. Oh, like, this is not the solution. I have the solution. And
I want to point out something really important.
These are fine. Do all of these things, but this is not none of this negates what Obama is saying. None of this negates what he's saying. But go ahead.
So in this tweet, he's saying, it's time we listen to the people. Well, which people is he talking about? Because according to a recent poll, a number of polls that happened in June of this year from 4 different pollsters, the average, whether Americans oppose or support the phrase defund the police or defunding police departments, the average across these 4 pollsters is that 58% of Americans oppose defunding the police. So listen to the people, like many vast swaths of people oppose this.
Okay, counterpoint.
And of course, polls are flawed. The people that they reach are not good and all this stuff. Wait, but I want to make your point, and I'm going to find some more information on polls on this.
Okay, 51% of the people oppose defunding the... 58. Okay, but that's both Republicans and Democrats and independents, right? People that would never vote for the Democratic Party anyways, right? So what percentage of people who vote for the Democratic Party, what percentage of those people agree with the slogan defunding the police? Okay, because if you focus on everybody, well, then people like Ilhan Omar might say like, oh yeah, well, you're worried about the opinions of the people that will never vote for us anyways. You should focus on the people that... Yeah, go on.
So then I found more information about a different survey. So this is separate from the average of the 4 polls that I mentioned a second ago. The Gallup survey included more than 36,000 people over the age of 18 who were polled from late June to early July. Abolishing the police had the most, though still not much, support among people younger than 35, which would be 33% in favor. Democrats, 25% in favor, and Black Americans, 22% in favor. White Americans and Republicans were the most likely to oppose the idea at 12 and 1% in favor, respectively. So even among these key demographics, younger than 35, Democrat, and Black American, and those are separate categories. Let me be clear. That's not someone who is all of those categories necessarily. It's still a minority of support. Again, younger than 35, 33% support. Democrat, 27% support. Black Americans, 22% support.
So maybe Charles should listen to his own tweet and listen to the people. And they don't. It seems like they don't like defunding the police. And guess what? Among adjusting per capita, guess who calls the police more than anyone else?
Minority communities.
Black Americans.
Yes.
Black Americans rely on the police protection more than any other community. They call them more. They're like, yeah, we kind of like want more police.
They are the most likely to be victimized by violent crime.
Yeah.
And we can talk about why that is. We can talk about why that is. But the fact is that is who is most affected by violent crime, most likely to lose their life to violent crime, and those who initiate calls to the police the most. Right.
So there are more. So if you care about Black Americans, they're more likely to be. They're way more likely to be killed by crimes that police is there to stop than the police themselves. Like astronomically higher chance. Okay, so the thing that is standing between many Black Americans and violent death is the police. Okay, so listen to the people and look at the communities that rely on the police for protection more, and realize that it's the Black Americans. Oh, Vince, you want to say something? No?
Sure, yeah, and I think this is a perfect example of someone who's probably just in his echo chamber and only follows people that he agrees with on Twitter and only reads news articles that published by people that he already agrees with. So to him, he legitimately thinks this is actually everyone. Everyone agrees. Like, come on. But the polls that I've seen, and one of them that Susanna mentioned, I think was a Gallup poll, but it was mainly circulated around right-wing media sites. That was like 81% of Black people opposed defunding the police. But there was also another one that was published in June by ABC News that said that I think it was like 57% of Black people actually supported it. So some of the polls can be wacky, and it really just depends on what the polling mechanism is actually built in place. But the general consensus seems to be...
And also how the poll operationalizes what defunding the police means.
Yes. Yeah. So
it's very important of how the pollster asked that question. Sorry, continue.
Yeah. So the ABC one, for instance, specifically says that it was, quote, defund the police and put money towards other community programs. So, and I'm assuming that the one that is being circulated by right-wing publications, I have a suspicious feeling that they probably worded it in a way that would make it hard for them to disagree with it. But that's, but there clearly is no very obvious consensus on the exact percentage of people that believe defund the police. That different polls say different things, but there's clearly no official consensus. So to say that listen to the people, yikes, you really gotta cite that specifically. Otherwise, it's abundantly obvious that you are in a huge echo chamber. Not huge, sorry, tiny echo chamber.
Right. But again, what do you think about my pushback if I was part of these, if these people hired me instead of Ilhan Omar? I would be like, if I wanted to push back against Obama, I would be like, Mr. Ex-President, you're saying we're losing people. Citation needed. Like, wouldn't that be the best response to Obama if you were wanting to oppose him? And what would you like? First of all, can you acknowledge that would be the best response? Of course, because I'm saying it, but also how you would respond to it. But
oh my God.
Also, how would you respond to that?
On these ones, it's super hard, right? Because it's not like a medical or a scientific claim. It is it's an extremely broad sociological claim. Obviously, there's not going to be any studies conducted on whether or not defund the police or ACAB or hashtag kill all men are effective. The best we can do is maybe point towards Jonathan
Hey,
Haidt's.
YouTube, we don't want anybody. This is just a slogan that we're referring to. We're not saying don't. Okay, say K all man. Don't say
K all men.
Don't
The algorithm.
Too late.
Apologies.
YouTube algorithm. Guys, light some candle. Wait, let's do the Agori thing for the people who know the reference. I don't know if people know.
Yeah.
Only our patrons will understand.
Yeah. You gotta
YouTube gods, please don't do anything.
I do have a little skull. Wait.
Don't strike us down. Please.
I don't have a skull because I'm not weird.
All right, go on.
Yeah, but like the best that we can do, as far as I can tell, is maybe point towards research that has been conducted like by someone like Jonathan Haidt, who's a psychologist at NYU, and say that, well, it seems like the us versus them mentality doesn't seem to be working very well. And maybe apply that towards something like ACAB or like any other slogan that demonizes a particular group of people or a particular person. But I think we're hard pressed to find a specific study that says, hey, look, here's the statistics on whether or not defund the police is an effective method at getting people on your side. I think that's a bit of a ridiculous expectation to have on Obama. No, where's your citation, Obama?
So why
you're not going to find it.
But wait, is it too much of an expectation for us to ask for him to provide? So, well, if we don't have any evidence to show that he's right, then why even make that claim?
My argument would be that the citation wouldn't be on specifically whether or not defund the police is effective, rather what are effective methods at actually getting people to rally on your cause. That's a much better question, and it's nowhere near as very pinpoint accuracy, just this one specific thing. I think we're better pressed at just being like, well, what is the general psychological literature on how to convince people to go on your side? That's much better, rather than just saying, is there a statistic on whether or not defund the police is good or bad? I mean, there's no studies on that.
So what's the answer though, if you look at that literature work that you said?
I'm convinced by the literature that says that if you rally people against a particular boogeyman, like the police in this case, people are less likely to join your cause. Whereas if you were to rally people on the grievances and sufferings of your people or you yourself as an individual, you are more likely to increase the number of people who back you up, because that elicits the empathy trigger in your brain. And so if someone says, hey, this community, the Black community, is really suffering because of socioeconomic policies that were implemented in the 50s, 40s, 60s, whatever it may be, and they're suffering because of that. Whereas if you were to say, these white people are the reasoning behind why the Black people are suffering, and we need to punish these white people, or we need to hold them accountable, much less likely to get people on your side.
Really? Like create fear-mongering, creating an external enemy for us to hate? That doesn't work? I thought that works perfectly.
Vince said
according
before,
to Jonathan Haidt,
that will work up to a point.
Right, yeah. Up here,
to get to that majority tipping point, of majority support, that can't take you all the way there.
I thought it was the opposite. I don't know. Let's look at this tweet though.
Yeah. With Cory Bush, with all due respect, Mr. President, let's talk about losing people. We lost Michael Brown Jr. We lost Breonna Taylor. We've lost our loved ones to police violence. It's not a slogan. It's a mandate for keeping our people alive. Defund the police, period.
Oh, okay, yeah. Obama doesn't care about that. Let's talk about it. We lost Michael Brown. Oh, yeah, Obama's like, oh, yeah, I don't care. He doesn't care. Well, we lost Breonna Taylor. Yeah, Obama is like, Breonna who? Oh, yeah, screw her. She deserved to die. That's what Obama thinks. We're losing our loved ones to the police violence. Oh, yeah, because this whole thing didn't start with, like, the whole point is Obama trying to figure out how to get support for reforms that would reduce police violence. That's the entire point of what he's saying, you goddamn idiot. Like, are you freaking serious? What are these responses? What are these compacts? What are these comebacks? Like, what is this? What is this even responding to? Like, how is this? These are like people with a lot of following and a lot of educated people. Like 500,000 followers.
This is this is a elected congresswoman elect.
And this is the response?
Yes.
Like, guys, like, look at us. We're here. We're like nobody. And we have like better, we are like analyzing Obama. Like we're way better than these people. Like, what is this responding to? Like, are you suggesting that he doesn't care about these people? Are you suggesting that he's the whole point is trying to figure out how to lose less people? That's like, at least pretend that he has the same intentions. Even if you disagree with how he's going about it, don't pretend that he doesn't have the same goal as you. He has the same goal as you. He wants less of your loved ones to die. That's what he wants. Maybe his methods is different than you. Maybe you could disagree with his methodology. Maybe you think like, oh, no, sir, this is a good slogan. You think it's a bad slogan? No, but it's a good slogan here. But don't pretend that he wants something else.
Yeah, well, this is a really messy tweet. Like, the Michael Brown Jr. situation, we can't even pull on that thread because the whole sweater will unravel. But what I want to focus on is it's not a slogan. It's a mandate for keeping our people alive.
Well, he's telling you it doesn't work.
Look, I could be wrong. Let me preface it as I could be wrong. Based on my understanding of the data this far, I tentatively believe that defunding or abolishing the police will result in more Black death.
Yeah. Duh. Yes, for sure.
So I do not believe that defunding the police will keep your people. I'm not saying that your people, like in an othering way, just to use her language.
All right.
Yes, you're using her language.
I'm using her language. Yeah. I don't think defunding the police will keep them alive.
No. It would demilitarize would be great though. If they said demilitarize the police, that would be like, yes. Or reform the police. What would have been so hard? But just that's like, I mean, okay. First of all, Corey, she's saying it's not a slogan; it's a mandate. Those two are not mutually exclusive. A mandate could be a slogan. So, what do you mean it's not a slogan? A slogan could be a mandate. A mandate could be a slogan. It is a slogan. How is it not a slogan? What's the definition of a slogan?
It's not even bad for it to be a slogan. Slogans are important. It's good marketing. It's how you communicate what you want. You crystallize it, make it easily communicable. That's not a bad thing. And you're right. It isn't mutually exclusive.
Right, hold on. Slogan definition. A short and striking or memorable phrase used in advertising. A motto associated with a political party or a movement, a motto associated with a political party or movement, or other groups. Yeah, it's a slogan.
Or a Scottish. Wait, it says a Scottish Highland war cry. That's my people.
No, I mean, like, what?
Wait, maybe that's what's causing the confusion. They think that's what Obama's talking about.
Maybe it's all semantics. Okay, but I don't know. I have a weird take right now. Okay.
Oh.
Maybe it's good. Defund the police slogan. Maybe I changed my mind. I support them using it because it made them look ridiculous, and at the same time, it got more people to say, yes, we need to reform the police. So maybe I'm not sure. Maybe I'm like, we're not going to say defund the police, but you keep saying defund the police because more people are going to be like, these people be crazy. So I just want them to out themselves, right? I want them to out themselves while at the same time encouraging people to be like, okay, let's put aside these loons and let's actually see how we could improve the police so that it has less, like there are less situations, like less people die at the hands of police or under police brutality or any other mistreatment, right? Maybe it's a good thing that they did this, okay? And again, the people that come and say like, oh, Armin, you refer to these people as loons and crazies, but the stats shows that more people are voting because of these movements, and as a whole, people support these movements. Yeah, but we have stats that show that more people don't like this slogan, and also their numbers could have been higher. So just because their numbers are high, that doesn't mean that it couldn't have been higher. Like they might have lost people even if they are above 50%. Like BLM, for example, as the movement suffered, like it peaked after some shootings and after some other police violence that led to death. It peaked, but then when a lot of the slogans and a lot of the demands of some people from the Black Lives Matters became more and more public, then it started. This popularity started dropping like a rock. But even if it's still high, these are not mutually exclusive positions. These are not contradictory positions to say like there's high and these slogans lost people, right? So you can't point to the fact that if you go from, I'm just making up some numbers, if you go from 80% to 60% because of bad slogans, and I tell you that you're losing people because of bad slogans, you cannot be like, well, we're 60%, we're majority. Yeah, that doesn't negate the fact that you lost people because of bad slogans. But go on.
I will wait, someone here had a good comment. Skekbos is saying, Susanna, it's not just death abolishing the police. Well, I was talking about defunding, but also abolishing or dismantle. Well, I'm not going to get into that. So abolishing the police would see a sharp increase in R's, theft, etc. Yes, so violent crime all around. I agree. And the communities that would most likely be affected by that would be minority communities. And right. I just think I was laughing a little bit earlier because I was just like already like thinking about the bootlicker comments. And I would like to remind people or inform people who are not aware that I used to be a full-blown like police abolitionist, like absolutist. It also involving like I was an absolutist for abolishing borders itself. Okay. And I was around a lot of people who are very passionate about literally abolishing police. But then, I mean, they were had an anarchist bent. So then they would take it farther. Then we need to abolish the police state. Well, then we need to abolish the state itself. We need to abolish America. So when, again, this comes from my very specific anecdotal experience, but when the slogan defund the police started getting thrown around, like that was a red flag for me because of my previous experience. I'm like, again, my previous experience, this was coloring the way I interpreted it. But the way I interpreted it is like, you guys are smuggling in what you really mean. And what you really mean is, yes, abolish the police, which isn't true for everyone. But there are people who literally do think that, and to deny that is not true. Because I was one of them.
Okay, I have a question. Okay,
wait, one really quickly. Katie has a hilarious comment. Obama yelling slogan and rushes to war against the woke.
Okay, I have a question. It seems like everybody that I know of, okay, it used to be that, okay, let me focus. Don't highlight anything, okay? What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, it seems to me that everybody, right-wing, left-wing, mainstream leftists, wokey people, they all agree, most people, I'm sure you're going to find exceptions, but what I see is that demilitarizing the police seems to be a good idea, okay? And it seems like most people on all sides believe that more cameras that cannot be stopped, that could record at all times, is good for the protection of not just the people that the police is dealing with, but also for the police as well, right? So more body cams for more cops seems to be a good idea. And also having more training for police officers, especially de-escalation tactics, seems to be something that all sides agree that it's a good idea. And it seems like all sides agree. Some people say, like, mental health experts is the only thing you need to send. Some people say no, they need armed police, but it seems like all sides could also agree that if there is a mental health situation, if you're sending the police there, armed police there, it might be a good idea to also send mental health experts with them so that they could deal with the situation that the police is not trained to deal with. So in addition to the armed police, not instead of the armed police, okay? So what is it? Why is it not the obvious solution here is to demilitarize? Like, you don't even need more funding, like less funding, right, for now, before you even pass a bill, to get more or less funding in the police. Why can't you pass bills that just demilitarizes the police and reallocates all that money from demilitarization to more body cams, to more training, and to mental health experts riding along with the police in situations where they need it? Like, is this not like something that everybody can get behind? Like, this seems like everybody should be able to get behind this. Okay, Susanna, you want to say something?
No, actually, I want to hear if Vince has any comments, and then I want to answer a question that Murtad is asking me.
Well,
answer me. Okay, go ahead.
We focus more on the things that we disagree on than things that we agree on, and those things that we disagree on are amplified through the political rhetoric that we're forced to engage in. You can have a podcast with someone that you agree with on 99% of the things that you talk about, and that 1%, you're going to focus more on that 1% than the 99%, because that's the way that we evolved. That's the negativity bias. And you just imagine how that's going to translate towards an entire country, an entire group of people, two political parties that basically only talk about the things that they disagree on. And especially in the United States, and as fractured and as politically polarized as it is, I'm actually surprised that you're even asking this question. Like, to me, it seems obvious. Like, yeah, there are things that we agree on. There are things that Republicans and Democrats agree on. They're not going to work together to pass legislation because they're more focused on things that they disagree on. Same thing here. It's like, yeah, sure, but people really care about the things that they that make them different than make them the same.
Oh, okay. So Murtad is asking me, Susanna, at the time you thought that, meaning like full police abolition, what did you and the people you were around believe should be the alternative to police? So
burn it all, anarchy. Burn.
Basically. Well, not completely. Let me just start by saying that it could very easily, there could be other visions of this, right? There could be other arguments for this. There could be a lot of different positions on this. I'll just share my anecdotal experience of what that was. Full police abolition, and basically it would be replaced with community policing, but it was not exclusively community policing. Again, these were Antifa people with generally a broad anarchist bent, not exclusively, who it was a full vision of anarchism, so that basically society would evolve to this place where police are not needed, like where there wouldn't be an R culture, sexual assault culture that would require calling the police. Let me finish my thought. Where we would create conditions within our communities where people they were free of needs that would require them to go do antisocial acts, that would necessitate them to do violent crimes or theft, etc. That we would evolve the need for prisons in this way, because we would have restorative justice. And that's not the best presentation of the full argument, but this is just like off the top of my head. But the more I thought about it, the more that it's utopian, right? Like, I don't think, it was completely contrary to my understanding of psychology, which is like one of what I'm most passionate about. It's what I'm very knowledgeable about, is that there always will be people who are antisocial. Like I do not believe that we can evolve to a point in our society where there is not antisocial behavior. We can do a lot to minimize it, we can do a lot to mitigate it, but those people will always exist by the nature of our biology. And it is very much a potential of basically any person to be antisocial. And I don't mean like, oh, you don't like to talk to people at parties. Antisocial in psychology has a very specific meaning of behaviors that are against societal cohesion, basically. It's part of our nature. Some people are more predisposed to it than others. There are environmental factors that amplify that in certain people, but it is always going to exist. And so, like, I don't think that complete prison abolition is a smart idea anymore, because I think that there will always be certain individuals of our society who need to be removed from society to keep everyone else safe. That doesn't mean that I'm not for prison reform, and that I don't think that we need to imprison as many people per capita as we do. And there's lots of things wrong with the prison privatized industry, right? But the idea of complete abolition, it's absolutist. And absolutist dogmas do not generally stand under scrutiny. And when I started to introduce critical thought into my life, I immediately found a lot of examples that made those absolutes have little cracks in them. And as soon as you can find one thing that stands against an absolute, the whole thing crumbles. I hope that made sense. What do you think, Vince?
Right. So was the general underlying assumption about human nature was that we are by default somewhat peaceful, and then a capitalist society introduces a socialization because it introduces needs, it introduces wants that are focused on consumerism rather than any other, like, Marxist viewpoint. Because capitalism enters the picture, it screws everything up, and so it makes us evil. And so once you get rid of these institutions that force us to be consumerists or whatever it may be, we'll go back to our default position of human nature. Like, what was the default position of human nature, according to them? Just happy?
I don't know if default position of human nature is so much a part of, there was a specific vision of that, so much as this generalized idea. And this is me being very broad. Let me be clear. Broad, not the most nuanced, because it can't apply to everyone and everyone's argument, or everyone's position, is that capitalism definitely amplifies a lot of those problems. It creates needs. It deprives people of meeting their needs, and that it doesn't provide for all people equally. And so some people have to take certain measures that could be seen as antisocial to meet those needs, right? Which is true in many cases, but it's also completely not true in a lot of cases.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can get into the whole John Lockean argument about who gets to distribute the natural resources. We, therefore, sort of, bear the fruits of our own labor. This is a super duper interesting conversation. So at any point, I know these things on average go for an hour, and I don't know where Armin went, so I have no idea what's going on right now.
I'm guessing his internet just crapped out on him. I wouldn't be surprised if he just had a power outage.
Oh, okay. Does that happen often? I've never seen that happen.
Depends.
At any point in your life, before you were a full-blown anarchist, were you a Marxist?
I cannot honestly say yes. There were certain ideas of Marxism that sounded appealing at the time, but if I'm being completely honest, I never actually studied the texts and arguments well enough to be able to claim that label very fully, or to be able to defend that position very well. So it was probably like the things that attracted me would probably be like pop, diet, very like dumb Marx. Like I was around a lot of Marxist Leninist Maoists, typically, but I don't think I can honestly say that was my own position. And when I started to think about things more critically, I was of the position I was like, oh, I came to this conclusion that I should actually have more data and like empirical basis for my opinions instead of like narrative driven, or very emotionally driven. And so when I started to kind of do the Cartesian exercise of dumping out all of my ideas as an apples on the floor, and picking up each one to see which one is rotten, I was like, maybe one day I'll return to where I was. But if I do return to where I was, it's because I found better evidence for it, and I have better reasons for believing in that now. So who knows, maybe I could be a Marxist again one day. But if I am, I'm sure I will have much better reasoning behind why I am. And I mean, I'm just being honest with you guys. Yeah,
my understanding of Marxist philosophy and even anarchistic philosophy is that much of it deals with armchair philosophy, actually, about human nature, but they'll very rarely cite actual studies when it comes to how do people react in situations where they feel like they're helpless or where they feel like the institutions are failing. Much of it has to do, and I take this from people like Slavoj Zizek, where much of it has to do with what they expect humans to be if they didn't have this consumerist tendency in them that was instilled upon them by a capitalist society. Okay, sure, that is a claim, but we need to test this claim from a cognitive science standpoint, from a psychological standpoint. I'm not too keen on overthrowing my entire assumptions about how society should function based on a armchair philosophy thought. That is what mainly concerns me about these sorts of very radical viewpoints on social structures. So, and that's why I'm super fascinated about talking with people like such as yourself and like legitimate Marxists. Hey, Slavoj Zizek, if you want to go on my podcast, you're more than welcome. I'd love to have you on. And but this stuff is super fascinating to me. And I know the anti sort of woke red pill for you, for a lack of a better term, was people like Armin. Who was the anti like anarchist red pill though? Because I think you can still be somewhat like anarchy driven, but not be super duper woke, right? So what was that pill for you?
Pill, oh my god. And it's funny you should say that, because I think some of my former friends think I'm like legitimately red pilled.
Oh wow.
I'm like, guys, I'm a lib. I'm a flaming lib. What was it that specifically made me less woke based and woke? A lot of ex-Muslim critiques of multiculturalism and introducing ideas and thinking about the implications of I'm just laughing at how we've taken over the stream.
Right, yeah.
They had a lot of very good, important critiques of multiculturalism and inclusivity and this current blend of like critical diversity culture, or social justice informed by critical theory, what I call critical social justice, because I don't think all social justice is like this. I think it's an incredibly noble and important endeavor. If I could, what was the final straw that broke the camel's back is when I heard Yasmin Mohammed's story of what happened to her as a child when she went to CPS, or the Canadian version of Child Protective Services, because she was being physically abused at a really terrible degree by her family, and the judge basically sent her back home to her incredibly abusive family, because that's just how things are in your culture, to paraphrase. Which, to paraphrase her, what that communicated to her was that if this happened to a little white girl with blue eyes, that would have been unacceptable, because I'm brown and because my parents are from over there, this is okay. that kind of like that one example really showed the truly insidious nature of cultural and moral relativism to me. So that's like one really specific example, but other issues that my current dogma couldn't account for, like the problem of the minority within the minority, the problem of the soft bigotry of low expectations, and just so many inconsistencies in my past or my dogma at the time that it could not account for those inconsistencies, and just what I was being presented with was just so much more consistent and treated people more consistently than what I was currently involved in, what I saw, what I believed. If you guys want to hear like a really full explanation of my experience with this, you should go check out the episode that I did on secular jihadists with Armin and Ali, because that's actually the first time I ever talked to Armin and Ali. So I explain like my de-radicalization process way more in depth there. Armin told me that his internet went out, by the way.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Carson is saying political philosophy doesn't always need a scientific method. Right. So I guess I should probably tell you how I view the acquisition of knowledge. I'm pretty much a logical positivist. So
let's get into it.
I don't want to get. If you want to know my moral philosophy, check out my YouTube channel, The Babylon Project. But yeah. So for me, what is true and what is not true, or at the very least, what is falsifiable and what is not falsifiable, is rooted in our sense experience, rooted in empirical observation. So I'm a logical positivist with some changes, right? So I'm not like 100% Vienna Circle logical positivist. I change a bit, but yeah. So that's why I don't really. I think they're interesting philosophical questions that we can think about from our armchair when it comes to political philosophy that isn't directly like influenced by sociological experiments, but we should take those ideas with a grain of salt. Don't act on them anywhere near to the point where you would actually execute an entire revolution. We have to be very careful about this sort of stuff. So that's why I don't really pay too much attention towards political science that isn't directly informed by experiments that have been conducted on human nature and on our desires, our needs, our wants, and more dealing with, contradictions or a logical consistency based on what we consider to be logical in our heads. I'd be very careful about that sort of stuff.
James is asking me a good question. But Susanna, Vince is asking what made you not be an anarchist anymore, because you could be an anarchist but not care about the lefty identity politics. That's true. Speaking broadly, that wasn't my experience, or that's just not how things are culturally where I am, but you're completely correct. What made me not be an anarchist anymore was realizing, well, first of all, allowing critical thought, allowing myself to question dogmas. And then once I was questioning dogmas, I realized that I had been burying a lot of critical thought that I was holding. For example, my understanding of psychology is contrary to the utopian vision of anarchism that I was presented with. So there are other versions of it. There's a lot of different flavors of anarchism. There's a lot. My understanding of human psychology is just, it's completely utopian. I think utopian ideas are idealistic and dangerous. And like I said, once I started to allow critical thought into, and allowing myself to openly question, openly criticize, deliberately seek out voices in criticism in an attempt to actively disprove myself on my conclusions that I had reached, it didn't make sense to me anymore. I thought it was contrary to everything I understood about how humans work, social psychology. But like I said before, it also came down to a matter of realizing how flawed my epistemology was. So, like I said before, once I realized how flawed my epistemology was, that made me realize I need to go back to the drawing board. So again, maybe one day I could be an anarchist again. But if I am, I'll have much better reasons for being so. And James said, wow, that was the first time you talked to them, Suzanne? Oh, talking about secular jihadists. Yes, I first talked to them in March. They must have released that podcast quite a long time after it was recorded. Yes, I believe maybe a month and a half later, maybe more. I can't remember when it was actually went live to the public. But yeah, that was the first time I talked to them, and then I am in the position I am now, like as of end of May. Are there any other good comments?
You need
to read more theory. You're right. I do need to read more theory. And that's what I realized, and that's why I left. That's what I'm saying. And I'm being honest. I'm trying to be humble. What do you think, Vince?
Theory is crazy.
I mean, exactly. And theory does, like, I need basis in reality as well. I need empirical backing. But Carson, yes, I realized that, my understanding of the theory wasn't great, and that's why I shouldn't buy into that, right? I should study more, and if I come to that conclusion again, maybe I will. But I left because I realized I was being a dumbass. Gregory had a good comment, and I usually really disagree with him about liberals and atheists' tolerance of inclusivity of Islam is hypocritical. Yes, and that's another big thing that I realized, and another that really understanding that was a big turning point for me. But this turned into me talking about my nonsense. Do you want to maybe look at a few more reactions to this tweet before we end the stream?
We could, if
what do you think?
I still have a few brain cells left, right?
Okay. On Memento, because some of the reactions I saw to this were just like typical. Wait, I should probably zoom in.
I wonder who did the Photoshop job for that freaking thumbnail. That's really bad.
I don't think it's photoshopped. I think this is just a photo.
Wait. I'm seeing... All right, let me enlarge the picture. Oh my god, it is. Okay, when it was smaller, it looked like they tried to make it a PNG image, and they did a terrible job at erasing the sides of Obama's body. Yeah. Okay, now that it's enlarged, never mind. It's an actual
my gosh,
picture.
And it's even trending right now.
Sweet.
He was pissed, or people got really pissed about this.
Oh, I love this person shilling out his op-ed from Univision.
I mean, respect.
Go for it.
Yeah, everyone hitting them with the thanks, Obama. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I saw. What were some of the comment responses that you saw to this?
I didn't read the comments.
Okay. I saw a lot of responses. Maybe there's more in the quote tweets of people throwing back in his face the "Yes We Can" slogan, and "Yes We Can" was not related to this.
Oh, there's some right-wing people.
Yes. Notice Obama isn't saying he's against it. He's helping them market it through deception. I don't think it's through deception. He's very openly helping them market it. Yeah. Oh, okay. This is.
I think by through deception he meant that by wording it in a way in which people don't realize that they're defunding the police, where a lot of right-wingers will say these people legitimately want to abolish the police, but they're lying about sort of a few trivialities here and there, so that way people don't catch on. Maybe because this guy's pretty
oh yeah, he's a piece of work.
Yeah.
Obama is right. If you have to explain your slogan, you're already losing. Fair criticism. Oh yeah, this is what we went. Oh wait, I don't think we did this one. Damn, Mr. President. Oh, wait, shoot. I'm not supposed to swear. Oh, well. Didn't you say Trayvon could have been my son? In 2014, Black Lives Matter was too much. In 2016, Kaepernick was too much. I don't think these are positions that Obama took. Did Obama speak against Colin Kaepernick?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm just going to be charitable and assume he's talking about public opinion at the time. Or maybe oppositional opinion at the time.
Oh, okay. So 2016, Politico. According to Politico, Obama asks Kaepernick to think about the pain he's causing military families.
Okay, that's stupid. Because kneeling, it had nothing to do with the military. Oh my gosh. Okay, I can't even get into that. That's so dumb. That's such a dumb comment. Today, discussing police budgets is too much. The problem is America's comfort with Black Death, not discomfort with slogans. Woof. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yikes.
What do you make of this?
I mean, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it seem like we are, and I'm not saying that. Oh, whatever. I always feel like I have to clarify what it is I'm saying before I say it. But what they seem to be doing is they really want to catastrophize what's going on now, so that way that they can get more people on their side. So what we were basically saying at the beginning of the video, right? So by saying the problem is America's comfort with Black Death, it seems like he's probably trying to guilt people into saying, wow, if I don't say anything or if I talk about this, then therefore I'm either comfortable with Black Death and not realizing it, or people are going to think that about me. So the only way out for me is to talk about this and to be in support of it. Not that it's not a laudable goal, but that is what I would expect this guy to be thinking right now when he writes that. But there are some people who literally think that. There are people who literally think, yeah, people just don't care when a Black person dies.
I think the global reaction to George Floyd's death, vastly disproves that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Congressman-elect. Oh boy. And again, this is so uncharitable. He's not saying that he doesn't care about this stuff. He's saying what he's saying because he does care about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Damn.
Are
you kidding me? He's trying to make your situation. He's trying to help you guys out. Just because you don't like his feedback, because you like his criticism, that doesn't mean that he's comfortable with this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, okay, to be fair, you were not claiming, Jamal, you were not claiming that he's comfortable with it. Okay. Let me be clear. But
mm-hmm.
And I don't think this is true. And the problem of police, Black Death at the hands of the police, is a small percentage of, based on my understanding, a small percentage of the cause of Black Death or homicide in this country. Just, oh my goodness.
Obama can't catch a break. Did you see what happened with his book, where apparently he tried hitting on girls or something like that based on what he read from Foucault? Can't catch a break, man.
Yeah, didn't he say that he read Marx to just try to get girls?
Yeah, I thought it was specifically Foucault. Was it also Marx and?
Oh, okay. Maybe I heard wrong. Why is that shocking to anyone? That's what people do. Saeed Jones is saying it hurts after all the violence and death, not just this year, at the hands of the police officers who don't believe Black people are entitled to dignity or life. The conversation isn't even about our lives anymore. It isn't even about us. It's about white people's feelings. Yep. What?
There's only 2 comments on that tweet and 6,000 likes. Is that?
Oh my God! But defunding the police is supported by a minority of Black people.
but they're trying to find a boogeyman.
Oh
They're
my
really super deeply rooted in this identity game where
And it
they have to
hurts.
find someone, and it hurts them. Yeah.
But guys, he's not against you. He's telling you to be better.
They should highlight the comment by Fatima.
Oh, okay. Let me go back to this page. This comment.
What? Okay, I'm gonna fire Fatima from my simp army. Brittany's
Wow.
happy.
Fatima,
Brittany's happy.
you know where to go. You know where to go.
No, Brittany's happy. Brittany's. Yeah.
No yelling
Okay,
in super
who
decibels.
else? I'm gonna ban everybody that was happy that I was.
Well, I think
Who's
Katie
happy?
I think Katie gets a promotion in the simp army then.
Yes, Katie's happy. No, Fatima, you're fired. No longer a simp. Okay.
Dang. No. Well, Fatima, I thought you already left to join Vince's simp army.
Nope.
She was confused
she's
about
fired.
it. She was confused about it. Still wasn't 100%.
Aww.
Well, do we, now that Armin is back, do we want to continue?
I didn't know you guys were. No,
reactions,
wait.
or should we end because we've been going for an hour and a half?
Yeah, we're going for it. You guys. I thought like I was gonna like, oh, my internet is back. Let me go and download the video. And I'm like, why can't I download this video? I'm like, what? It's still going. You guys are still going. I'm like, oh my god, the stream is not over. Okay, cool. No, it was like, all right. I was like writing an angry message to Susanna. Like, Susanna, you ended the stream and you forgot to click on end stream. Like, it's going, and it's just like, and then like, oh, they're actually there. They're talking. So
Of course.
I had to like backspace. Oh, angry message, delete. All right.
Wait.
Sheikh R. What?
Oh wait, I'm gonna listen to this voicemail you just sent me. Is this gonna be an angry voicemail that you just sent me?
No, it was like it was just a voicemail saying, "I think my internet is back. Are you getting this?" Yeah. I didn't know you guys are still here. I was like, "Yeah, cool. All right, let's get out of here, guys." Oh, all right, let's go. All right, I'm so happy. By the way, I'm so glad that Susanna was here and she has access to all the stream stuff. Because if in the middle of stream my internet goes out, it just keeps going and there's nobody there and everything is live and it's just like empty, nobody, and there's nobody to go and end the stream. Mm-hmm. So I need to have a co-host at all times. So for this hour, Susanna is usually here, but I need to find a co-host for the other time that Susanna is not here. So we're gonna look at some candidates, okay? Anyways. Talk to you guys later. Subscribe! Make sure you subscribe. Okay? Come on. Okay, subscribe, link it to the link right below and hit the bell button. Hit the bell thingy.
Should we look at the blasphemous art?
No. Next live stream, we're gonna show you the latest draft of Muhammad and Prophet Muhammad and Goddess Kali. It's beautiful. It's amazing. Next live stream. So make sure you subscribe. So you in the next live stream. No, not the next live stream. The one before, the one that Susanna is going to be on. Okay, because we want to talk about it
like 24 hours from now.
In 24 hours from now, we're gonna show you some new drafts of Muhammad and Kali. And guys, become a Patreon because we told you by the end of the month we lose 20%. No, 10% of our patrons. It actually ended up being less than 10%. So we were at 200. We're at 185. So we didn't lose.
We're at 188 right now.
No, we gained back 3. We got to 185, and now we gained 3 back, right? Oh, so really? We dropped to 185. So we lost 15 patrons. Usually we lose 10%. So we didn't lose 20. We lost 15. So that's good. So we need to now gain it back to go back to 200 so we could do our blasphemous art every single week. Every week. So get us back to 200 so we can do our blasphemous art every single week, okay? Link to guys. And yes, link it is, and do not support us financially. Do not become a member. Do not become a patron if you're struggling financially. Do not support us. Do not support us financially if you are struggling financially. You could help us in other ways. Do not even consider supporting us financially if you're struggling. You could just liking is free, sharing is free, subscribing is free, hitting the bell, and guys, hitting that bell and then selecting all, it's not just for your benefit. I mean, it is in your benefit because our content is amazing, but it's not just for you. It's also for us because it signals to YouTube that our channel matters and it shows it to other people. So just hit the bell thing. You just do it. Help us out. It's free. It's free. It takes half a second. Oh, God.
Giving access to Susanna was hikmah. You were not lacking. There was no absence of hikmah.
There was no access. All right. Let's go. Subscribe!